Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you wherever you're watching from. You're once again welcome to Esan Constructions channel and a tutorial on the use of the Blender software for 3D architectural design. Without further ado, we have a tiny request. If you find our content useful and inspiring, kindly support us by subscribing to our channel and turn on your notification bell to get notifications when our posts in the future. Additionally, you can give our content a like and comment down below to let us know what you think. We'd also appreciate your support by sharing our content with friends and family. Thank you. Height. You realize that the front house is a little bit complex because it's not just a series, a plain wall. It has windows, it has a door, and all that. So what I want to do is I want to remove this. It's a matter of preference. It's not really compulsory that I remove it, but I love working that way, and it helps me to be able to, you know, coordinate my work better when I don't have to keep all my all my faces or all my mesh in a particular object connected. It makes it easier to independently work on whatever mesh is faulty or giving me problems when I'm about to texture, when I'm about to add materials. So let me delete this one, face. So now I can work on this one individually. But then one thing to note before we start working on anything, this is also overlapped. So we need to overlap it if there's overlap. And while you are choosing your wall, you realize that it's a little bit more difficult to actually choose the wall that you want to. So you can use this shortcut Shift Alt and you press your left mouse button. So what it does is select the vertices in a row, or the edges in a row, or the faces in a row. So what I'm trying to do is that I'm selecting the edges in a row here. So, and the reason why I had to do this is because if I want to pick them one by one, I might be picking the parties of this other mesh here instead of picking the vertex of this mesh here, which is the mesh in question. So let's move it G, Y. So you also have to check, see we pick the right mesh. So we have to move 2 to 5 minus, because we want it to come with the edge of that mesh. So we can also do the same thing here too, but you have to deselect this first and go and do that. So you need to check if in case you see we chose the wrong one, so we need to select it and go and choose the right one. Shift Alt. Now it's like we chose the right one now. Yeah, good. This is it now. So we are removing it to 5. Another method of doing it is that let's go Ctrl Z. Yeah. So let's go to face select mode now. I just want to show you another way to do it, because it can be very confusing. When you pick this face, you realize that this is the face you are picking, but you already know that this has a face, and you want to bring this edge back to this face. So what you just need to do alternatively is to pick this face that you don't belong to this one, move it by 2 to 5, G X 2 to 5 minus. So now you have your free edge now to work on, so that it's now easier for you to select this edge now. So you can press down your shift and select your edges and then move it back G Y 2 to 5. Then you have what is almost what we did here too. Then you go back to your face, then you bring this back G X 2 to 5 to where it belongs, and then you have what you had before. I undid what I did already. So now I'm safe to extrude this, each and every one of these walls, just like I extruded all of that. So you need to pick every face, and because you're extruding in the same direction, you can actually do it once. You can actually do this once and for all. So let's try that. Extrude Y. We are extruding to x-axis 2 to 5 minus, extruding into the house. So now you have this solid looking house. You have a solid looking house right now. So in order to get your door, there are different ways you can do your door. I just want my door to be separate so that I want it to be independent of this particular house. You can see all your windows are standing properly. So you can just take any of these edges, any of these two edges. This is the way I prefer to do it. There might be other ways, there are other ways to do it, but I don't want them to get connected so that I can always edit my mesh individually. So I'll duplicate this towards the x-axis. I can just go, let's say 1200, any measurement will do. Let's just go 300, not 3000. Then I create a face and I take it back G X 300 to where it belongs, because it's actually the doorway. And I now extrude it by 35 minus. So now you have your door back. So now every mesh is independent. If I want to move this, I can move it separately. I mean the whole mesh here, the whole keyboard. This one, so I can move it separately. This one I can also move it independently. So this is how you create your wall, and so also extends to how you create your partition walls too. Let's try to create partition walls here. Let's make this loop cut. Let's just make like let's make 4 loop cuts. Yeah. Let's also come here and make 4 loop cuts. So let's make 4 loop cuts. Now, if you want to create a window, there are different ways to do it. Like, let's say you want to create a partition wall and a window somewhere. Let's create a room here. Let's go to this page and see. Okay, we have a particular another wall here. We have another wall here. Let's say we have another wall here. And since this wall there, we can just press F to join them. But I don't really like, connecting all my meshes, because it can always mess up the work. If I have to work on them individually, it won't be easy to work on them individually, and whatever I do to one affects another, so I don't really like joining them. So I usually advise that when you are creating your structure, make sure that the meshes are independent, especially when they don't have to be dependent before you can draw them. So right now what I'm going to do to this is I can just simply duplicate it, yeah, like this. Then take this original one, delete it. Sorry, I need to delete face. If you delete vertices, it's going to take every connected vertex. Remember that. I'll now take this GZ 3000 minus. And you see, now it's not connected to what we have here. You can see it's independent. And if I delete it, even if I delete vertices, it's just the only one that's going to go. So that's the idea, that's the essence of doing it. So what I want to do is I want to create a door here, and I want to create a door here. So let me move it 900. Let's assume our door is 900, GY 900. Not 9000 minus 900. Yeah, and let's go here too. So now I want it to be like, oh, this is the living room, and from the living room they go into the inner rooms. Let me also loop cut and slide this, because I prefer to work. No, that I don't want to loop on. I need to loop cut and slide this in a way that I'll be able to easily get my windows and doors, just like we did the other one. So I know that the height of our window, you can always check it here. That's 900, and the height of the window itself 1 2, and the height of this one 900. So you can see 900 1 2 900. What I want to get here is 900 1 2 900, but it's 1000 1000 1000. So which means I have to shift this down by 100. Get that, and this one up by 100 to get that. So now I have 900 1 2 900. I can also take this, duplicate it. X. Let's duplicate it somewhere around. Let's go. Let's say 4000. Like our kitchen is 4000. Yeah, it's okay. But what we want to do is we want to create a corridor that goes to the kitchen here, and we'll have our rooms on this corridor. Then our kitchen will be at the end of the house and all that. Then we can have another door here. This is just a very simple house, very simple miniature house. And we have a very long corridor. Let's increase this to 1 2. So we have 300 to have a big passage because it's going to be a big corridor. See, by 300. So we have one, two there. So we have a room here. You can have, okay, you can always cross check your dimensions from here to here. You can just press here. That's 8,175 Ctrl Z. Now, on duty, I already know I have the data, the information of my distance from here to here is 175. So let me go look for my calculator. Yeah. So now what I want to do is I want to get from what is left here, from here to here. So that's 8175 minus 4000, which means the distance from here to here now is what I have here now, 4175. 4175, because my distance here is 4000. So I can have my kitchen around here, or around here, yeah. Then the dining and the kitchen will be somewhere, will be around here. Although it's not really a conventional kind of house, but I think it should do for this lesson. We have a room. We have a room of let's check the dimension of our sitting room, and let's see if we can add an additional room here. So it's into him. Let's check the dimension of our sitting room. That's 5375. I'm not really sure we can add an additional room here because we have the living room here now. Yeah, we can have an additional room that cuts across here. So let's just try to do that. Let's have an additional room that cuts here. An additional visitors room that can be accessed from the sitting room. So let's try to see what this length is. Let's take this. Let's take one of these edges. I'm going to take one of these edges. Let's go to our edge selection. Let's take a straight edge. And let's move it. Let's move it shape D. Why? So let's move it 750 minus, yeah, let's move it 750. Or we can move it GY, let's move it 500 GY. 750, that's 250 minus 250, which means we moved it 500. So I want to create a wall here. So let's see if my this thing are connected. I want to check that. This is very important to check if they are connected. So now I can extrude towards the y direction 225 with my wall. I want it to be a wall that's actually the in to in of this one is what I want this dimension to be. I want the dimension of the in to in to be something like 2561, even though that's a very small room, but it should do. So now I can go to my face select mode now, and 5375 is what the distance from here to here. Ctrl Z. Now we can move this 5375. So then let's move it, or let's extrude it rather. Extrude X 5375 minus, can you see it's hitting this place, but we need to remove this wall width to redeem y x 225, and it's just to give room for this, the extrusion of this particular wall. So now we can now extrude this wall, extrude x 225, and so now you have this house whereby you enter through this place, you go, this leads into your inner room, and then this particular, you can see we don't have any entrance to this room, which is weird, so we need to create an entrance to this. So we can go here. I already said this helps you to be able to see what's the transparent here mesh, so that you can choose faces, edges, and vertices that are not easily accessible in the solid mode.